Hi, I'm Scott Farrell. Welcome to What's Your Problem? Our problem to solve today is dating over 50. I'm over 50, so I can speak to that. Now, I am married, but I know what it'd be like to be single. I've got friends that are. So, what's the process? How do you do it? Do you want to date? Do you want it to end in marriage? What do you want out of it? Let's answer these questions. Dating over 50. The fastest way to answer this question is the way I'd answer it for somebody who's 16, 26, 36, 46, and 56. Sit down and decide what you want. That's it. I mean, okay, I'm done here. My work here's done. Now, what do you want? It's the same question I ask people every single day when they say, "Oh, there's nobody to date." No, 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 no. Whatever. No, there's plenty of people to date if you know what you want. It's no different than going to a car dealership, and I go to a Honda dealership and tell the guy, I'd like a Highlander." "Sir, you're at a Honda dealership." "Well, don't you have any new Highlanders?" "No, sir, that's Toyota." So I'd have to go to a Toyota dealership to get the new one, right? So why would I expect to start dating the perfect person if I haven't decided what that perfect person is? So what do? You sit down and write out a list of every characteristic you want in your next spouse. Why? Because normally who we date, we marry. So you figure out what you want before you start dating. I did it before I married my wife. Now, granted, I was in my 40s, but I wrote out 100 things that I wanted in my next spouse, knowing that if I date her, I'm probably going to marry her. So she had all 100, I was done. It's that simple. Now, why don't we do it? I don't know. I don't know why people don't do that. I work with people all the time, and they'll go, "Well, I can only write down 5. All right, we'll start with 5. Start with 3. Tell you what, make a list of everything you don't want and then write down the opposite. It's taking the time to figure out what we want. It is true. We spend more time picking a hairstylist, a dentist, somebody to fix our car than we do thinking through our future, who we're going to date, who we're going to marry. Heck, people spend more time figuring out where they're going to eat than they put into where they're going to date. Because so many times we've been taught to do what we feel. Don't do what you feel. Think this through. I treat everything like a business. And I wanted my marriage to be profitable. What's the profit in a marriage, or what's the payment system of? I wanted to make sure that we had enough qualifications for each other that we could love each other and spend the rest of our lives together. I don't do anything halfway. And so if you're going to put the time into dating, only date the people you want to go out with. Just don't take somebody because they asked you out. It's like, I'm just going to take the first job I'm offered. No, don't take the first date you're offered, because, again, you're going to date how you feel about you. If you feel poorly about you, you're going to date people that reflect that. So before you start dating, get you straightened out, especially if you're over 50. Most people over 50 have been through 1 divorce, maybe 2. Now, I've got some friends they were both virgins at 55, got married, happily married since. Not the norm here in the world, especially not in the United States. So let's say you're over 50, been divorced, ended terribly. All right, so that's normally a scenario that I'm presented with. So don't take the baggage from the first marriage to the second one. Just because that person's bad doesn't mean this one will be. Don't make that gender pay for the mistakes of this person. Make sure we go to this new relationship or new ideal or new list with a refreshed look. Don't take the sins of the past to the future. Figure out from this day forward who you are and what do you want. Where do you want to end up? Let's say you're 55. And by 75, you want to retire, okay. And you want to do the following 5 things. You want to travel, you want to chase music bands around the world. We do that. And 3 more things that you put on that list. Where you're going to live, what you want to eat every day, and how you want to vacation that year. All right, so you're going to be looking for somebody who wants to do those 5 things. Well, are they there? Sure they are. Quantum physics will take over. And you just write that out, rehearse that through. It's like I tell people, if you want to get married, go ahead and live like you're married. Go ahead and sleep on half the bed. Go ahead and clean out the closet. Go ahead and set the house up as if you're already married. Why? Quantum physics will take over, and the rest will kick in. But until you do these things, until you're prepared to do these things, until you get you settled from the past and don't bring that to the future, until you decide what you want, you're going to get whatever comes along. I don't want to live life that way. Now, I've been blessed throughout my whole life. I've met some spectacular people. And so I've been blessed. A lot of people's stories that they give to me, they're not blessed. So stop detracting what you don't want, because so many times people sit and ruminate over what they don't want. I have women tell me all the time, all men cheat, all men lie, all men this, all men that. That's not true. All people were born and all people die. Outside of that, that formula ain't going to fit. So what do you want? Write it down. Fix you. Let's get you fixed. Remember, just because you think that's attractive or this is attractive, do they think you are? Are you dateable? Are you somebody that someone would go out with? Or are you really messed up from the past and everything that's been dumped on you and you're still carrying that chip on your shoulder? Which one is it? Do you know who you are? Do you know what God's put you on this earth to do? Do you have you figured out? These are questions you got an answer. I wish I had just one answer for people dating, period. But that is, I give the same answer regardless of age, because things don't change. Behavior's not going to change as far as what do you want, who are you, where do you want to be, where do you want to end up. These things are just across the board things you've got to do anyway. It's no different when you go to a job. You know, they take your resume, you sit down and talk. They present a package to you. You either approve that package or negotiate that package. It's salary, benefits, retirement, whatever is it, 401k or wherever you want to invest your money, how many weeks vacation, on and on and on. If you're going to put that much time into a job interview and negotiating your package, aren't you going to put even more time into negotiating the package for the future of whoever you're going to marry? Well, I'd hope so. So many people don't. And remember, don't choose who you're going to date from below the waist. Keep that above. Keep it right here, not down there. And life will turn out pretty well. If you don't just settle, then things will work out pretty well for you. I hear horror stories all the time where people go, I should have listened to you. Well, true, but why didn't you? Well, I didn't think this about me. See, normally it goes back to, why do people not listen to good advice, whether it's mine or somebody else's? They haven't figured out who they are. They're still carrying a lack of self-esteem from the past to the future. And they're still relying on that past person to pick the new person based on the past, instead of the new person picking based on a new future. So things to keep in mind. Do I have time to answer any question? No, not right now, but I'm always available. ScottFerrell.com is my website, ScottFerrell.com. I do teach a class on dating. There is a right way to do it to get married first time and stay married. There are ways to do things correctly the first time out of the gate. I was watching Robin Williams and Craig Ferguson interview. If you've never seen it, it's hilarious. But they're talking about, they've both been divorced twice and just got remarried for the third time. And they said, I was never going to do it. And then I looked there and said, oh, this time it's going to be right. And you don't want to be that third time person. And chances are maybe the divorce wasn't even your fault. Okay. But still, what do I want? What do I want for the future? Who am I? What do I want going forward? These are still going to be important questions to answer. And if you need help, you can always email us, and then we can chat with you, no problem. But thanks for coming by. What's your problem? I'm Scott Ferrell, and I'll see you next time.